Sure. Testing. I think we're good. I think we are good now. Let me go ahead and adjust this light real quick. Ooh, not good. Go over here. Okay, I think we're fine. You guys can see me? I should. Oh, we got double echo. Hold on. I apologize. Turn that. Okay. Let me mute that stuff. It's so weird when I live stream, I have like the camera kind of like to the side. Okay. I saw Nayata in the chat. Nayata's like, is it true? Is it, am I really gone? Yeah, we can't confirm, right? And just like how the people who believe that Gojo died wasn't willing to accept that Gojo died, we still can't 100% confirm that Nayata's dead. But personally speaking, if you were to ask me, I think Nayata is RIP. And, it's not like I'm excited about that. It's sad. It's a little tragic. Okay, we're just going to do one of these weird camera. There we go. Okay, we're going to do that. That light's going to shine brightly. Robin says, great stubble, by the way. Thank you. I don't know how long I'm going to keep it. I told myself I just want to dabble with it for about a month. And after a month, then we'll shave it off. I just wanted to have something for the 6-month hair transplant video, because that video will either drop tomorrow or on Thursday, right? It's crazy to think about. I'm going to say in the video too, it's crazy to think about. It's been 6 months since the hair transplant. Who's trying to reenact the live stream with me in the Discord VC. So yeah, I guess Crabbier was one of the people who commented in the last stream at the very end. Hey, how do you send the Discord link to people? Can you guys send my Discord link to people, or is that only like a privilege? Not the right word. Is that like the only, like, am I the only one who can hand out the Discord link? How the hell do I hand out the Discord link? Invite people? Oh, here we go. Discord link. Okay. Now we got it. Discord link. Discord link. Here we go. All right. All right. So there we go. So now we got some people who can check that out. Guys, I made a Discord server. I'm not really making it public. The only people I really want in it right now is the 1% of the 1%, the people who are truly fans, not the people who like Deku. There was someone named Deku in the chat, if you guys remember, just commented gay, which is like... I don't know why I read those comments. I think they're just so hilarious, It's just like, okay, that's not really an insult. And that type of insult is going to get you canceled anyway in like 2025. So, we're still dabbling with this. The Discord server is going to be like supplemental content, right? It's going to be like an added feature when I do what I said, and I told my other content creator friends that I'm gonna do later on this month, which is have an anime reaction channel. But I feel like, one, because I said it, now I have to do it. Two, I just don't want to say it and not have content up. And three, the people who are going to be a part of what I end up watching inevitably down the road are going to have voting power, right? So like, that's why I made the Discord server. Right now it's just a thing, right? It's just a thing to have. But we're not, I'm not really promoting it that much. So for the people who are there, I'm glad you're having fun. I didn't promote it, or I didn't show it off in this latest Chainsaw Man review, but people who have Chainsaw Man like setups, let me see if I can brighten this up on my end. Hold on, give me a sec. Will it appear brighter for you guys? Hold on. What the hell is going on? Maybe not. Maybe not in real time. It's showing up as bright. I guess not. So people who have like Chainsaw Man setups, right? I would love to show these off in the chapter reviews next week. Whoa, that is some crazy shit going on over here. We got some alien stuff. Dude, that is so freaking wicked, man. With the Godzilla on top. Ooh, I love it. I love it. Show me your setups. I love it. I would love to show these off in the Chainsaw Man chapter reviews going forward. Robin says something about, so it's safe to say Denji talked about Naita to Yoru. Yeah. So, yeah, here we go. Someone's saying already here in the Discord, I have a wild theory that has basically no evidence. Okay, so can we call it a theory or just fanfic? But what if the Death Devil was secretly Denji's mom? Wow. Yeah. Let's not, okay. All right. That's the Discord server. That's what you get when you get into the Discord server, okay? So, let me go ahead and close this. Let me see. Before we talk about the chapter, and before Shueisha takes this thing down, even with the manga panel showing off over there, let's show off this Don thing here for a second. Guys, the Kagurabachi video is out. The long-awaited Kagurabachi video is out. You know, if you guys are on the fence about the series, or if you want to know what's going to happen, you know, go ahead and check out that video. It's a 97-minute video. Is that the longest video on my channel to date? I'm not sure. It may actually be the longest video to date on the channel. So it's 97 minutes. Grab your popcorn, grab your food. You know, this is a good video, and this is, I would say, by far my editor's finest work. It is unfortunate that I had to re-upload the video 3 different times. One time for some errors, and then the second time it was corrected. But then there was one more error from the second upload. So we fixed that, and now here is the third upload. So guys, Kagurabachi, I like the series. It's fun. Check it out. You know, there's no doubt on my mind this video is going to do well over time, because that's what evergreen content is, right? For people who don't know, content creator, you know, terminology, right? A video that basically has no expiration date. So I think this Kagurabachi video is going to do well, but for the first people who want to be there, I appreciate your support. Let's quickly log into Nen Garden. I think I decided in the last stream, and I'm going to tell each and every one of you, especially for the people who joined the Discord server, right? If these prices are a little bit out of your price range and you want one of these, join the Discord server and I will personally DM you a 50% discount code so you can pick up one of these at 50%. So, because, you know, this is for people who play card games, right? The competitive card, TCG card game players, right? Yu-Gi-Oh, Magic, Pokemon, One Piece, like myself. But, you know I don't have that much stuff for you guys, the fans. So, and I answer it every single time. Happy to say it every single time. You can definitely use these as mouse pads, right? The Don playmat you can use as a mouse pad. The Chainsaw Man desk pad you can use obviously as a mouse pad. And yeah, these will I'll get more of these in stock soon, right? Again, just to show it off to anyone. I love how they came out. You know, there's some people in the community that has them and they vouch for them. So when in doubt, if you want a 50% discount on any of these, I can send you a DM on Discord, and you know, we'll go from there. So that is my merch store. We talked about Kagurabachi. Don will come out sometime in March, and yeah, I think we pretty much nailed everything. So we can go ahead and talk about the chapter, the latest chapter of Chainsaw Man, chapter 192, titled, what the hell is this chapter called? I already forgot. What the hell is this chapter called? Oh, How Devils Play. Let me go ahead and grab my bottled water. Ooh, I don't know where my bottled water is. Okay, hold on. Give me a sec. Oh, great. You know, I picked up my water, my bottled water, and I just realized I don't really have that much water. So the moment I get too dehydrated, I will tell you guys, sorry, there's going to be another water break here in a second. But How did we feel about Chainsaw Man Chapter 192? Did we like it? Did we hate it? Should we go? Should we post a little poll here right now? Let me see. Honestly, I don't even be joining these streams for the chapter. I just join. I just enjoy these streams. Well, thank you so much. Let's see. Tyson, DJ Miles, I finally joined. Prince, Yoru only left Asa part of her brain so she wouldn't be found instantly as a devil. Does Yoru even have a reason to keep Asa around now that she's finally revealed herself? Waffle Boy says, I'm not missing the stream. Hello, everyone. Yeah. Hi, guys. R.I.P. Nayata. Let me see. Okay, so chat is doing its thing. Let's go ahead and take things from the top as we begin. And hopefully you guys can see it, right? Like, I know it's not ideal, right? You know, thank Shueisha for that, right? Yeah, okay. So, Yoru's finger bullet is revealed to have veered off to the side, deliberately sparing Yoshida. Grinning, she grabs Denji and leads him out of the hole she created with the ripcord, teasing that she'll show how devils play. Okay. Right off the rip. Wow. Yoshida was not cooked. Yoshida didn't die. Fumiko didn't take the bullet for Yoshida. Yoshida is alive. You know, if Yoshida is alive, Fujimoto is saving him for obviously big plot related stuff, and that probably makes sense, you know, considering that Yoshida was just resurrected again, Monster Reborn style, when Denji regurgitated him back from his stomach, right? So for him to be resurrected to die would have been a little weird. I still would have been fine with it because I don't really care for Yoshida anymore. We are practically in the end game of Chainsaw Man right now. I know we haven't had a character focus on like more groups of people, right? Compared to part 1 of like Beam and the Violence Fiend and, you know, the Spider Devil and an Angel and all these like supplemental characters on top of the core characters of Denji, Asa, and Yoru. So, right, because we don't have a lot of pickings to choose, okay, I guess Yoshida's going to be one of the core people. And sadly, I hate to even say this out loud too, admittedly, Fumiko is also part of the main cast of Chainsaw Man Part 2. Like, gross. Like, absolutely disgusting. What the fuck? Like, Fujimoto, for real? So, Yoshida is spared. But the biggest problem, as I said in my review, and I don't want to dwell on it. Well, I didn't want to dwell on it in the video, but I'm definitely gonna, like, bitch about it here. Okay? Guys. We don't know what the fuck Fumiko did, okay? In the last arc. The last arc wrapped up, right? The last 2 to 3 chapters, quite literally wrapped up because Fumiko ended up saving the crew, okay? Not directly, but indirectly. She gave up her heart to the Octopus Devil. The Octopus Devil only became big because it got a big sacrifice and offering to it to become that powerful. So remember in Chainsaw Man Part 2, when Himeno, and you know, I just don't want Shueisha to take down this stream, right? So let me go ahead and just show a random like Kagurabachi thing. Okay, so maybe they might also strike me down for that too. Okay, let me just show this thumbnail for a second. So when Himeno was about to die, Himeno ended up telling the Ghost Devil, right? You can have my entire body. And the Ghost Devil's like, cool. Now I'm going to have your entire body. I'm going to be as strong as I can. I'm going to be really big. I'm going to wreak havoc, blah, blah, blah. We see the parallel of that same exact thing with the Octopus Devil over here, right? Octopus Devil gets humongous. It gets so big to the point that it can swallow a primal fear, okay? Now, granted, you can also just argue, well, hey, it's big enough to swallow any devil. But, you know, I'm sure if they try to do that shit on the Death Devil, would it necessarily work? Maybe, maybe not. I'm getting ahead of myself. The whole point is the Octopus Devil got big, swallowed the Aging Devil whole, transported the Aging Devil to its own dimensional world, couldn't use its abilities, and all this was done because of Fumiko, right? And while all this was happening, we see the real Fumiko offer her heart, and there's another one like standing beside it. So I'm calling it a Deus Ex Machina. So the whole crew conveniently got out because of this one particular moment. Now, if we don't get the explanation during the conflict, right? The climax of the arc, it makes sense. Give us the answers in the following chapters, right? And to be fair, we could still get the answer in the following chapters, okay? But we don't like it's not explained, right? Like this chapter is focused on Denji and Asa primarily, and we don't get to know anything about Fumiko, and we'll talk about Fami in a second either, right? We just don't get an explanation. Like, we need an explanation, right? And I know some people might say too, like, no, DJ Miles, who cares? It just got them out of the plot. But it's like, you just can't introduce an element like that, especially in this world of Chainsaw Man, and not explain how the fuck it got out, right? I said this a few weeks back too. You know, we can make, oh my god, we can make Kobeni the crybaby, and Kobeni, you know, miraculously gets out of every situation because, like, Fujimoto is inserting us as Fumiko, right? Like, she's the only human without a devil contract, maybe not, right? You know, she, you know, whatever Fumiko is experiencing, that's what we would experience, right? Like, oh my god, this is crazy, I'm scared, I don't want to fucking do this shit no more. It, you know, it's like the running joke. With Fumiko, there's none of that. You quite literally, like, present this Deus Ex Machina, and, like, you're not explaining it, you know? And I would even say, too, just to kind of finish this, because I know people maybe aren't too excited about this part of the chapter. Even if you don't give us the explanation, at least tease it a little bit more, right? So let's say everything that we see here, right? Like, you know, Denji, I'll play with you. Let's leave. And then, like, as they're leaving, right? We get one half-page panel. I'm asking for just half a page, Fujimoto, where, you know, Fami and Yoshida is like, so, you know, Fumiko, what the hell did you do in that, like, last arc? Oh, you didn't know I can create a clone of myself? Funny you say that. I made a contract with ... right? Like, I would have loved if we just got half a page of them, like, teasing us that we were going to get the answer, and then we don't, because that's going to be a bigger reveal for what ultimately happens in this final arc, right? I hope that makes sense. Like, I want an answer, but if we don't get an answer, that's okay. Make the suspense, make that build up to that answer even more, like, intriguing and curious, right? But we don't get that. And I'm like, well, what the fuck? Like, because something that scares me is that I don't think we're going to get this answer now for a long time. And I think us having that answer, or at least making it more intriguing, would have been better if we got it, like, here. So, I digress. You know, I will say, we talked about it last week too, how the community was talking about, like, the chocolate cake. You know, so Denji and Fami ordered chocolate cake in chapter 190, and in 191, we see that strawberry cake was presented, not chocolate cake. So people are like, who brought the strawberry cake? Because Denji and Fami ordered chocolate cake. And we don't get the reveal of that too. Again, I don't think that's really a big deal. And I don't think Fujimoto misses with something like that. I mean, possibly, right? Like strawberry chocolate, like, it can be a simple mistake. But, you know, again, if we are focused at the restaurant with Fami and Yoshida next week, and we get all of these answers, all these questions answered, then I will proudly take the L. And, you know, I would just also say too, bravo. At least with all the problems with Chainsaw Man Part 2, at least Fujimoto can, you know, answer me that, right? Like, we sent the strawberry cake. You know, the Fumiko's powers, how does it work? Even to, like, what the fuck Fami has been doing. That's the last part, you know, we'll get here with this restaurant bit. Dude, we haven't seen Fami in so long. And when we finally see her, sure, it's in a setting where she's about to eat. Ha ha ha, I get it. Funny, funny, funny. But then we don't get, like, any reveal of, like, where she's been. You know, why didn't she save Katana Man? You know, is she still in contact with Barum? You know, is she talking with her other sister, the Death Devil? Did she play some part in Nayata's death, right? Like, you know, we know after the whole Falling Devil arc, and we finally found out who the Justice Devil was too, right? That big blob thing, right? You know, we get that reveal. of Fami saying, I can control people when I starve them. Now, it's not elaborated on, but the popular theory is that, okay, it isn't just a physical hunger when, you know, when someone is hungry that she can control. If they're starving them emotionally or mentally or physically, right? I can control them. Did Fami have some part of Nayata's death, right? Like, we know the Chainsaw Man, like, crew people, like, presumably took out Nayata and her head was served on a platter. But we also know that Fami, much like Yoshida, wants to control Chainsaw Man and make them, you know, a part of this destructive weapon to use against death, right? So to not really see much of Fami going on after we just got her, that's a little upsetting too. But again, maybe this can all be remedied within the next chapter, and we again just have a POV of Yoshida, Fumiko, and Fami in the restaurant. You know, I would love to see that. So let's see what the chat is saying right now about that. So a lot of talking points. Okay, so let me see. Fumiko can have clones and sacrifice their parts. Sounds like a cheat code. It's a smoking gun. You just have to be patient. We didn't know about Makima's contract after she revived until the end of part 1. Okay, so I'm reading all the way back. Okay, so Cray, here's the thing. Yeah, we didn't know what Makima's contract was, but we got so much about Makima. We knew her character. We knew her motives. You know, we knew all this stuff, right? So, like, when we got the reveal of what she did, we already got so much screen time with her, right? Fumiko, we don't really know much about. And, you know, you do this crazy maneuver and ability, and it's not explained. So, again, if it's not explained, it's the Deus Ex Machina. What's a Deus Ex Machina? Something that conveniently get the characters out of a situation, right? Like it just like, oh, how are we gonna do this? Well, we got to make the octopus devil big, but how can we make the octopus devil big if it hasn't consumed a big part? Oh, okay, it's gonna eat someone's heart. Who? Fumiko. Okay, cool. And if Fumiko died right there, then that was it. That was it. But no, you present like a body double or a clone or whatever the fuck, and Fumiko's still Fumiko. Like, what the hell? Like, you had to explain this, you know? So. Yeah, I don't like it. Let me see. We will wait. Fujimoto won't answer it, just like the long list of things. Fumiko said she's a collector and has a lot of voodoo shit about her. I like that. And if that's explained, cool. You know, like, I would love it if that's the case, Prince. Let me see. Lotaru says, to be fair, TJ Miles, Yoshida knows she died, so he wouldn't ask. No. And that's kind of like the thing, too. When I said that in the video, in my chapter review, it's like, I said in the review that, like, Yoshida would hypothetically ask, hey, Fumiko, how would you get out? Like, look, if Yoshida asked Fumiko to keep close watch of Denji, right? Like, be the bodyguard during that whole, like, karaoke thing, right? He probably knows a bit or two about Fumiko. So yes, he wouldn't ask. But I'm saying someone needs to ask. Someone needs to raise that question for us, the reader, right? So, like, if Yoshida obviously knows, then, like, make it so that Fami would ask. So, like, you know, I was watching from a distance, guys, but Fumiko, you gave up your heart. How the fuck are you still here? Oh, funny you say that, Fami. I'm contracted with ... right? Easy solve. So... let me see. What happened to Denji's cut off parts in the prison? It got put together, my guy. Fujimoto isn't cooking anymore. He burning the food. Okay. Because there's the Fumiko mystery of WTF she did. I also want to know, WTF, does second Chainsaw Man have to do with Denji's motive and who he is? Now, you know, I didn't really talk about that in the chapter review because there was so much I ended up cutting for the sake of time. Yeah, the Chainsaw Man stuff, look, I don't even want to talk about the fake Chainsaw Man because we are in a very interesting place with Chainsaw Man Part 2. I feel like all the questions that you guys have, right? I want to know too. How has the Chainsaw Man, why haven't we seen Chainsaw Man, the fake Chainsaw Man in a while? How is this related to the plot? Is it a part of like family? Is it its own thing? Is it like adjacent to, death, and it was trying to do something and reach out to Denji somehow? I don't know, hold on, let me fix my hue light real quickly. Thing is like setting. Okay. So yeah, fake Chainsaw Man, I don't know. I hope, because we got the details of, basically Naita and basically power and basically death, then the next chapter we should hear something about the fake Chainsaw Man or see the fake Chainsaw Man. So, okay, so let's go ahead and jump into the next part of the live stream. Hopefully you guys can see it. I know it's cut off. So after, Yoru teases to Denji, this is how devils play. They land outside, two civilians spot them and mistake Denji for another pseudo Chainsaw Man. Before he can react, Yoru blasts a hole through one of them. Denji immediately yells at her for killing a civilian, but she dismisses his outrage, calling him a hypocrite since his last plan also involved murder. So, yes, I mean, Yoru is not wrong here, but like, Denji did it out of necessity to get them out of the situation they were in, right? So I feel like this is something we just need to be a little bit mindful of, because the comment section could probably say like, yeah, like, why is Denji being a hypocrite? It's like, guys, he had to do this to get himself out of the situation, right? Like, he's not mindlessly killing just to mindlessly kill, right? We saw this even in the International Assassins arc when Denji was murdering the fake dolls, right? Before Quan Chi said, hey, ignorance is bliss. You got to do this to get out of the situation that you're in. Don't like feel too guilty about it. Even in part 1, Denji didn't want to mindlessly kill, right? Like, yes, a lot of killing happened indirectly or because of like, mishaps in the beginning when he gained his powers, but he's not trying to do this purposefully, right? Because he feels guilty about it. So I already saw some people say too that like he's already numb to Yoru killing. It's like, I don't think he's numb. It's just that like he's still telling Yoru, hey, don't kill people. This makes me feel uncomfortable. And once it happened, it's like, look, well, I don't know what to say, right? Like, it's kind of one of those things where, let's say you have a significant other and you tell your significant other, hey, don't talk about this personal thing or don't say this, and then they do it anyway. It's not like you're numb to it. You're still like embarrassed and you're like, I really wish they didn't do it, right? Like, you're not like accountable for their actions, right? Like, they're still doing the sin. You're just the unfortunate like byproduct. You're unfortunately like just dealing with that, right? Like, well, he's killing, like, I don't like it, I don't condemn it. There we go. That's the word I was looking for. I don't condemn it. It's happening. She's her own person. I don't excuse it, type of thing. So let's go to the next chapter. Of course, here, Denji's like, hey, I'm hungry. Yeah, I know a great spot. Come with me. And then, I do, the one thing I will say about this moment, I do like how Yoru is just like letting herself be taken by Chainsaw Man, kind of like a damsel in distress, right? In a weird way of like, okay, well, I'm gonna kill people if you don't stop me. But I think it's adorable that like you're asserting yourself in this situation, and Denji's like, look, let's just go. Pick up his woman and starts heading to the Chinese restaurant, right? So I like that, right? Yoru can say, put me down, whatever. No, hey man, he's a little damsel in distress right here, and she's enjoying it, right? And killing people at the same time. She's quite literally having her cake and eating it too, right? So I like that. Let me go ahead and see what the stream and chat is saying right now. Whoop, almost dropped my mic. So death is basically the highest primordial. Yeah, I think so. Chingading says it's about intent. Thank you. Crabbier says, I don't know how you can confuse a guy with a Chainsaw Man metalhead for the rest of the pseudo Chainsaw Man. Yeah, I agree, but I think in that situation, there's so many like fake pseudo Chainsaw Man running around. Even if you see the real one, maybe you're just still thinking, okay, it can just be different variations, right? Of fake Chainsaw Man, right? Robin says, first carrying Asa, now Yoru, what a gentleman. Bro, what is going on in this chapter? I wonder if the Death Devil is going to look like an actual MILF. You know, we'll have to wait and see. So, let me see. Yoru is not the damsel in distress. Yeah, for sure. You know, but I'm saying she's just allowing herself to be picked up and she's fucking enjoying it, you know? Her man is taking her. So, anyway, they arrive at the Man Chinese restaurant. Can you guys see? No, you guys can't see the name of it because of the full screen here. But, you know, they talk about dumplings, right? The pot stickers were so good here. And then I don't have the image on me. Maybe I do have the image on me. Let me see if I can find it. Pot stickers. Where the hell did I have that? Did I have a screenshot of that? I don't know. Let me see. Let's give it another 5 seconds. If not, don't worry. It's not a big deal. Man, I'm saying it's not a big deal, and now it's bothering me that I can't find it. Oh, we can just go to my video review. Duh. So anyway, I'm just referencing the Chinese restaurant because it definitely looked like the restaurant that Himeno, Aki, Power, and Denji were in before Katana Man started wrecking shit, right? So let me see. Okay, there I am right here. Okay, here we go. Here we go. So yeah, hopefully you guys can see that, right? So we see the pot stickers right here. It looks like the sit-down restaurant that, you know, these two are in. Nice little callback. If that is indeed the case, I just like it. It just makes it more complete of the world building and just referencing stuff from part 1. So I like that. Also, you earned my sub because of your Chainsaw Man content. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Let me see. Tiberius says, I'm running away from anyone that holds a chainsaw on the street, much less having one for a head. So anyway, so there's that little Easter egg right there. And let me see. So they go to the Chinese restaurant. You know, Yoru says, I will make the pot stickers. And then the owner comes out and Denji's like, hey, like, this is the owner. Let's just tell him to make the food for us. And Yoru says, bang, ends up eliminating another person. And again, Denji just doesn't say, oh my God, right? Like, Denji's like annoyed, right? Who said it earlier in the chat? It just like, yeah, it's like your girlfriend is drunk at the bar or your boyfriend is drunk at the bar, whatever. We don't discriminate here, right? And then it's like, they're just acting like a fool. And you're like, I don't condemn this. Like, Denji's not used to this. Denji still hates this, right? Now, again, Yoru looking a little cute, right? Looking a little vulnerable. I said, I'll cook the food for you. Don't interfere, right? So, which is such a contrast to Yoru acting so high and mighty last week, saying that Denji's my dog. He's going to do anything for me. I'm going to turn him to a weapon. And now we see her here. Like, yeah, she's trying to be like a cute girlfriend. She's trying to cook for her man. Whatever. You know, adorable. Whatever. And then we go see here. Here's the pot stickers. They are having a nice meal together. And, you know, I love this image right here of like everything on fire. Because this is way different than how Denji met Asa in the beginning of Chainsaw Man Part 2 with that one panel that says, because I'm Chainsaw Man, right? Like, you know, that was probably one of the best, you know, panels we got early on in Chainsaw Man Part 2, right? I'm Chainsaw Man, whatever. And now we see so much of how far both characters have come. And the quietness of Chainsaw Man Part 2 from the beginning to what it is now is like really disturbing, right? Like, we are in the end. And how do we know we are also in the end? Because this chaos, this illustration of them eating dinner while they're looking at the chaos happening in front of them. Denji asked what we were asking for so many weeks. Where is the fire devil? To that, Yoru responds, I don't know. You'll be able to meet them when the Death Devil descends, though. And she continues and she says, when the Death Devil makes an appearance, the high-ranking devils greet her. So, you know, who are the high-ranking devils? Well, we certainly now know the Fire Devil is one of them. You know, I don't know about you, but if Death is going to be greeted, and Death is arguably one of the or top strongest devils within the verse, right? you have to imagine, look, we already got aging, we already got falling. I say just give us more primal fears, right? Like, I can see the Hell Devil. Oh, look at that. I got the live stream here. I can see the Hell Devil for sure, like greeting her, right? Because the Hell Devil is like pretty iconic, and hell is like a big term, right? Even if you aren't religious, of like, oh my God, hell is like greeting, you know, Lady Death, right? Could darkness be greeting death? That would be wild to see darkness, but you know, it's not really elaborated on, because, you know, Chainsaw Man Part 2 asked us about the Nostradamus prophecy on a certain day, on a certain month, you know, like this is when the Death Devil is going to descend with all these bad motherfuckers, right? But if they could come at any time, they would have, right? They haven't. So, you know, what is like the portal or the thing holding death from descending now, right? Like, why is death coming now? Why death couldn't come earlier? You know, aging, we found out how because she made these dealings with public safety, how, like, you know, she was kind of around, right, on planet Earth, but falling couldn't just come to planet Earth. Bammy brought falling. So, you know, it's going to be interesting to figure out, okay, when death inevitably comes, is there a reason? Like, did some portal open up? Was there an offering on a certain day and the moon looked a little weird, right? That, like, this is why death finally descended now. And when she descends, right? Like, okay, if the fire devil is a primal fear or not a primal fear, right? Because it's a common fear, right? Fire, water, lightning, whatever, you know. Are they also going to, like, is there some other thing that can that's restricting them from coming, or will they all just appear simultaneously, right? Lotaru, I like what you asked. The pain devil has to be a primal fear, right? Like, yeah, I think so. So darkness devil return confirmed. Death would be strutting down with her pose. I can imagine the call back animated, and it will be glorious when it releases in 2035. Yeah, geez. God, I wonder when Chainsaw Man Part 2 will come out. We're what, 2025? I don't know. I mean, Chainsaw Man Part 2 can come out immediately after Part 1. You never know. But yeah, so I love that we are hearing about the Fire Devil again. Another thing here too, Denji asks, will the Control Devil be there too? Maybe, although even if she is, she won't be the one you know anymore. So I feel like Fujimoto is saying right here, like, guys, we're going to see the Control Devil, but I don't think it's going to be the one that you know and love. I mean, it would be wild if it's Makima. I don't think it's Makima. If it's Nayata, great. But if it's not Nayata, I think Fujimoto is telling us, like, hey, the Control Devil is going to be here, right? Because the Control Devil is a strong devil. So yes, and you know, she's also a Horseman of the Apocalypse. So if we had, and that would actually even balances that would also balance things out, right? Like, we got Fami and War fighting for the side of humanity, and then we have Death, and let's have Control on the side of, like, the devils, you know, trying to conquer humanity, right? Like, now, I'm not saying Death needs the power of Control, right? Like, Death has been presented as one of the most powerful and strongest devils that we are going to see here relatively soon. I'm just saying that to have Control on the side of Death would be even more of a heart blow for the audience, right? Like, oh no, we don't have Nayata, and oh no, this Control Devil is, you know, on the side of Death, and you know, it would just twist our it would just be hard to watch, right? And you know, Fujimoto, he loves doing that shit, so that's why I believe that could happen. But you know, you guys have heard it many times before on the live stream, and when I read that in Chainsaw Man chapter 192, boy, did I feel good. All right, that, oh, I mean, there's two things I felt good about. One, they're talking about Nayata again. If the Control Devil's brought here, she won't be the one you know anymore. Okay, put the Nayata stuff aside. But we're learning here that Control is going to be here, okay? And how many times did I say it? There was no shot that in this final confrontation, it was only going to be death, war, and hunger. That made no fucking sense narratively. You cannot have the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse. You cannot introduce the entourage of these 4 powerful top people, not duke it out in the final battle. It just made no sense if you just grabbed control and then all the buildup and you know, lore and admiration that the fans have for Naita and how important of a character Naita is, not only for Denji, but just for the plot, and omit control out of the final battle. That made no fucking sense. I can't believe I even had to say that so many times. When Naita died, it's like, look, if she's dead or if she's alive, I don't know, but I'm telling you guys, control had to be a part of the final battle. And boom, here we are. With Yoru saying, look, even if she's around, I don't know, it's not going to be the control you know anymore, but I'm going to tell you one fucking thing. Control is going to be a part of the final battle. Wow. Wow, did that feel good. And what felt even better to say? Let's go ahead and talk about it. Wow. I got this promise with a friend. I'm looking for the Blood Devil. She's a huge jerk, but when we were together, I had a ton of fun. Even if I find her, I guess we're already strangers. God, so many people were doubting it. So many people were doubting it, and I'm so glad Fujimoto addressed this too. To the people who don't fucking pay attention. This was a big, big plot towards the end of part 1. Power's contract with Denji. We knew one of the questions going into part 2, many people believed, myself included, this is going to be a thing that's going to be a part of the Chainsaw Man plot, whether minor or major. I was hoping it would have been major, but here we are. We're going to see it. We're going to see this plot be played out. Whether or not his power is fucking irrelevant. We finally got the confirmation. I'm looking for the Blood Devil. Blood Devil. Yeah, I'm looking for the Blood Devil. Is it going to happen? Will we see power again? Who knows? I don't know why anyone even doubted this. If there was anything, right? Because here's the difference, and this is what I even said in the review. The whole thing with Kishibe and Reze, I personally think it is weird that they have not been a part of Chainsaw Man Part 2. Especially when we see like a tease of Reze. And especially when Quan Chi, well, I don't want to say especially, but even when Quan Chi alluded to like Kishibe saying like, oh yeah, there's like an old friend of mine saying, you know, like, you know, the dangerous devils or crazy devils, whatever, you don't mess with, whatever. You know, Kishibe had a role in public safety, that he was one of the most important people, right? So for him to not be a part of this, and even if he isn't a part of this, yeah, I think that's weird. But, you know, it's not... I don't know how to say this. I'm trying to be careful with how I say this. I am personally saying I think it's weird if Kishibe doesn't show up. But Fujimoto made no promises about Kishibe, and even towards the end of part 1 of like, hey, like, I'll come back to check on you, Denji and Naita, in the years to come, right? So if Kishibe isn't in the story, that's fine. Reze, I think, is also personally weird that you introduce 6 out of the 7 weapons and you omit the most popular one and not even give us like a simple answer of like, look, if Reze's not in the story, that's fine. But you couldn't just say in a simple line, hey, Mary, like, what happened to Reze? Is Reze around? Nope, she's back in Russia. That's it. That's it. Just say it, right? Like, okay, she's not in it. She's not part of the story. Cool. We saw a little teaser of her in the Aging Devil. That's it. Okay, cool. Right? Like, I'm not saying I need her in the story. I still think it's very jarring that she hasn't been a part of the story. If you include 6 out of the 7 and not include her beyond that like little thing. But the thing with Power, you know, and this just to bring it back, the thing with Power, this was something introduced in part 1, and we are finally getting it almost after 80% of us being completed with Chainsaw Man. Hell, maybe 90% done with this story. We're finally getting the subplot. So thank you that these 2 things were addressed. God, when I read this chapter today, I'm just like, guys, I try to be humble, but sometimes for people who just like to talk shit, fuck off. Eat my shorts, as Bart Simpson would say. I don't know how people just thought the power plot thread wasn't going to be introduced, and here we go. So, God, that feels so good to say. Now, do I think personally is power going to come back? You know, I'm gonna have the Cope hat. I'm gonna put on the Cope tinfoil hat. Yeah, I would like her back. I would like for Denji to deal with more you know, hardships and tribulations with how this thing will be surfaced, right? Like, he has to convince this new blood devil that, like, hey, like, you got to remember who you are. You got to remember who you are. And, you know, we've never seen this in Chainsaw Man previously, right? Where the previous devil of the same thing, you know, is going to have the memories, or the new resurrected devil is going to have the memories of the last one. We'll talk about Naita in a second, right? So I wonder if this is a way to circumvent that, right? Like, Power would normally not appear ever again. But when Power makes a contract to Denji and say, hey, find the blood devil and I will give you my blood in exchange, but now convince this person to be me again. Like, that could happen. So therefore, I think Power could show up towards the very end. And, you know, when Denji says here too, is this Fujimoto like teasing this? Like, I don't have that many friends, but, you know, Asa/Yoru, you are my friend, and Power is my friend, right? Like, Miyawi is gone, Makima's dogs are gone. So at the end of this, when Denji is alive, if he is alive, and he starts a new family again with like, hey, here's my girlfriend, Yoru and Asa, and here's my, you know, bratty sister/friend, Power, right? Like, yeah, I think that'd be beautiful if Power comes back. So definitely I would hope that would happen. But even if it doesn't and we don't get Power, but we still have like Power's memories within this new blood fiend or blood devil, you know, I'm okay with that too. Now quickly before someone corrects me, well, Naita remembered the memories of like, you know, Makima and all this stuff. It's like, yeah, but like you know, but Naita is also the control devil. She's like this higher tier of a devil, and she peeped into the mind of Denji to learn about Makima, right? So like, that's how that was kind of done. But, you know, maybe we can see something a little similar with Power because of the contract that she specifically told Denji, right? Like, find this person and, you know, make them into me or whatever the hell it was. So, yeah. Let's go ahead and see the chat. I've been rambling for a while now. Reze died, dog. I mean, I feel this. She's not going to be a part of the story anymore. That's just even more reason for Kishibe to make an unannounced entry. Dude, I would love it. I would love it if Kishibe comes back. You know, Reze isn't as important for Kishibe to be introduced. Yeah. I agree. Like, if you told me I could only pick one, you know, again, the Cope, I want to see Reze. But I think Kishibe is more important to be introduced into this story, especially at this point in the story, right? Like, we need Kishibe way more than we need Reze, right? Like, who the fuck has been running public safety this entire time? That has been probably, I think a lot of people, right, within the community can agree. Like, okay, Yoshida is listening to someone. Yoshida just doesn't take orders from anyone. And, you know, I know there's a theory too of like, oh, is Yoshida and Kishibe related, like father and son? I certainly don't think so. But look, I'm not saying that's even the worst thing for the story, right? Like, if somehow that's been a thing the whole time, then fine. I don't know, whatever. But who the fuck has been running public safety after Makima has been gone, right? Because Makima was listening to someone, right? And she just kind of listened to them, whatever. And yeah, we know the political heads within like the Japanese were trying to be immortal, etc., whatever, you know, but who the fuck is like at the top? Someone needs to be at the top, someone like high up there, right? Like, introduce Kishibe. Give me Kishibe, right? So, Glacial says, what if having Power back will allow Denji to save Asa from Yoru, like some fucked up blood surgery? Wow, I like that. I'm actually about that. That's a very excellent question. Yeah, I can see something like that happen. So, Nev says, no promise Blood Devil will be reintroduced. Fujimoto, weird like that. Yeah, see, this is where I disagree. Like, we just literally talked about this. It's like, no, Power specifically said, God, you're going to make me find the panel. Okay, let's go ahead and find the panel. Let's find the panel. All right, where's the freaking panel? Okay, here we go. Yes, I would normally agree. But if we're talking about this subplot, here we go. Can you guys read it on OBS? Can you guys? Okay, yeah. Find them, make friends with them somehow, and turn the blood devil back into power again. Like, this is very specific, right? Like, this is just too specific. Then I can be your buddy again. I will give you my blood in exchange. You know, do whatever the hell you got to do. Beat up Makima. Blah blah blah. Right? Like the specifics of the contract is stated. Make friends with the new blood devil. Find them and turn them back into me. It's like too specific. That's why I'm saying there's a high chance that power is going to come back. Now again, I would love my expectation to be subverted. You bring this, and then for whatever reason, it cannot be done. Right? I like it. So, but it's too specific to not at least tease that, like, no, there's a very high chance that we will see power again, right? All right, so, let's see. Okay, like, why take the Chainsaw Man without the strongest devil hunter? I know. Oh, hello? Yeah, thank you. And that's the other thing, too. Wow, excellent point, TG. Yeah, we know Kishibe is confirmed the strongest devil hunter. I mean, you know, next to Quan Chi, right? Oh, no, she is labeled as the first devil hunter, right? So Kishibe is, like, currently the strongest. It's like, bro, where the fuck is Kishibe? The Four Horsemen spin-off manga that is, like, Full House. So imagine Makima, Yoru, and the others just wreaking havoc. That's funny. Who has been running public safety? A monkey with a banana body pillow. Seriously. It wouldn't be a big surprise if Kishibe was running the whole public safety. Here's my prediction. They manage to unlock Power's memories. Then Denji will have to choose between bringing back Makima or Nayata. Wait, but what does that have to do with Power's memories? Here's my prediction. They have to unlock Power's memories. Then Denji will have to choose between bringing back Makima or Nayata. You know, I think at this point, he would just choose Nayata, right? Because, like, the new love interest is now, like, Asa/Yoru. So, I think Kishibe will come at last minute. It's likely that he is acting on some imperative. It's likely that he wants to defeat the Death Devils. He probably wants to be with Quan Chi forever. Yeah, you know, I'm also kind of hoping out on that realization, too, that we haven't seen Kishibe. And even though I still won't like the answer, I think it would just have all of us shut up for a while, right? That, like, hey, Kishibe, why the fuck haven't you been here the entire part? Well, the thing is, Denji, I've been, like, doing some fucking summoning spells with Doctor Strange to prevent the Death Devil from coming here the entire time. Wow, that actually makes sense. Kishibe does love humanity. Kishibe does care for Denji. Kishibe does care for the planet Earth, right? Like, guys, I was with Doctor Strange doing one of these spells to prevent death from coming the entire time. I've been holding off death the entire time. Fucking, what do you call it? Madness of, what the hell's the Doctor Strange movie called? Strangers of Madness, Madness of something, whatever, you know? I'm okay. It's so crazy how, like, all of us are just like, Fujimoto, just please give us some answers. And I'm not defending it, but I would just gladly take it. Like, oh, that makes so much sense. Guys, that's why he hasn't been here for the entirety of Chainsaw Man Part 2. He was with Doctor Strange, using fucking some mirror force, using some Yu-Gi-Oh! Trap cards to prevent death from coming the entire time. That makes sense, right? It's so horrible, but I'm willing to accept it. Rick says, DJ, I'm worried. Finally reread all of part 2, and narratively, where we are now, I am not really impressed. It all feels so very loose. That pains me to say that, because, or it pains me to know that you're feeling that way, because, you know, where we ended this chapter, I felt like, personally, I'm like, I want to reread part 2 right now to see, like, if I'm going to forgive everything that has happened so far. And I think I'm going to come with the same conclusion that many people can agree, even if part 2 felt a little slow in the beginning with, like, the aquarium and all that stuff, right? Part 2 started off so strong. Remember when we had more than 20 pages? Oh, remember 20 pages. Remember when we had more than 14 pages in a chapter? I think that's what also has been hurting the pacing for a lot of us. It's like, bro, sometimes we wait 2 weeks. We wait for the bi-weekly devil to, you know, leave. And then when we get to a chapter, you know, it's only 14 pages. That's why last week it was such a breath of fresh air for me. I'm like, holy shit, we actually had more than 14 to 15 pages last week. We actually got what, like 16 to 18, 18 to 19. And then this week, again, we get a lot of good exposition stuff. You know, I like what this chapter did specifically, but 14 pages. It's like, dude, those extra 5 pages can just take us so far, right? Like, those extra 5 pages could explain the Fumiko bit. Those extra 5 pages could explain the Fami bit. Those extra 5 pages could explain so much. Now, compound all the 14 pages chapters that we got in all of part 2, right? Imagine if all the chapters we got in Chainsaw Man part 2 were 18 to 19 chapters. How much more story could we have gotten? How much more narrative plot points would have been addressed? How much more intrigue could have maybe like surmised for the community, right? Like, you know, it sucks. It definitely sucks. And then Lotaro says it here too. The art for the characters is so much worse. Yeah, and this one's interesting because I agree that the art has fallen off. You know, we do get some incredible stuff. Right, I think Fujimoto said during the Falling Devil arc, he like took 2 weeks off because he was just having so much fun drawing like highly detailed like landscapes and buildings, right, for the destruction of the Falling Devil climax. But yeah, there was and you know, there's some cool panels too with, you know, Denji fighting the cockroach devil in the beginning of part 2. You know, when Denji became that tree with the aging devil. Right, like that looked cool, like the tree hanging up, the Chainsaw Man tree, right? Like, we've gotten some incredible pieces and some like iconic panels from Chainsaw Man Part 2. But yeah, a lot of the art looks a bit rough, and that's a little weird considering that, you know, with Manga Plus or Shonen Plus, whatever the thing that Fujimoto's doing for Chainsaw Man Part 2. He can do these chapters whenever he wants. So, you know, we should be thankful that we receive them once a week. But, you know, he's not under the restrictions of like Shonen Jump where he has to pump out a chapter once every week, right? So even with the breaks and the art turning out the way it has, yeah, it's been a little bit off, without a doubt. So, Corrupted Coffee says, so we agree Fujimoto should take a large break, few months maybe. Yeah, I mean, I guess if we're going to get a Chainsaw Man Part 3, without a doubt, you know. Let's see. Taishim says, they need to explain about Kobeni because I want to know what contract she made with and other stuff. Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. I don't think we're seeing Kobeni. If we see Kobeni, great. Fan service, great, you know. Great, but like, there's nothing at the end of part 1 that says like, I need to know more about Kobeni. I like that we got Nobana. You know, Nobana has been a nice welcome addition to the crazy Kobeni family, right? But yeah, it sucks knowing that we're this far, and I'm like, are we gonna see Kobeni? I would like to see her. I would like to know who she's contracted with, but we'll see. Let me see. If you look at the very first page of chapter 192, Yoshida doesn't have cake on his face, and the scar on Yoru's face wasn't added. Oh, interesting. Oh yeah, excellent point. Yeah, we're going to the beginning. Yeah, the cake is away, and then yeah, no scarring right there. Ooh, good find. I'm a huge fan. Ooga Booga says, I'm a huge fan of part 2, but it's super confusing to me, probably because of my low IQ, but I've been loving the last few chapters, especially 192. Yeah, that's fair. Gabe is right. WTF. These were both mistakes or just a scar? No, yeah, both mistakes. Yeah, no cake on Yoshida's face, no scar on Yoru's face. So, okay, you know, I didn't really talk about this because I still don't really want to talk about this, right? So let's go ahead and finish this up. When Denji's talking to Yoru about like, hey, you know, essentially power and you are the only friends I have left. You know, Yoru says, even though I'm going to turn you into a weapon, and Denji says it doesn't matter because for the first time in a while, I'm kind of having fun. And then, you know, like Yoru is looking very shocked, of course. And then, can you guys see that her face looking shocked? No, not until I zoom out. So, okay, you can see her shocked face, whatever. And then after that happens, you know, Yoru puts her big badonkadonk in between Denji's legs and says, is this fun too? And Denji is like blushing, saying, what? Yeah, look, man, if anyone had a peach like the War Devil in between my legs, I would be shocked as well. But yeah, is Denji being assaulted again? Sure, but Denji also said, but we also saw Denji on his knees and all fours 2 chapters ago, or even last chapter, saying like, "Hey, man, like I want to know who gave me the Shinji hands, you or Asa, right?" So, look, I don't really want to have the conversation because it's quite literally a sticky conversation. No pun intended. Yeah, Denji, of course, is being, somewhat molested, but this is also like a weird abusive relationship, right? Like Makima had this weird abusive relationship to Denji, right? Like when we knew her true ulterior motives, but she didn't give a shit about him, right? She cared about Chainsaw Man. Yoru at least cares for Denji somewhat, right? Whether that is because she's sharing the same brain as Asa is, a little irrelevant. There's feelings there, right? It's not the healthiest of relationships, but it's there. Again, this is going back to the drunk girlfriend analogy, right? Of like, oh my God, my drunk girlfriend is, she's a bit wild when she gets drunk, and I don't know, maybe she insults me, and that's verbally abusive, blah blah blah. But she still cares about me, right? Like I don't condone any of this shit, but there are some feelings there. They're both consenting adults. They know what they're getting themselves into. Denji, not so much, of course. Denji has just been a victim of abuse basically his whole life, which is very sad to say. And I think, more importantly, this is probably the panel that I would like to just focus on before we wrap this up. He's saying here, for the first time, he's having fun. Denji went through so much shit. So with the Aging Devil arc, for him to come to this realization of like, look, man, I lost Nayata, I lost my house, I lost my possessions, I lost my pets. But, if you're telling me I can enjoy sushi, and if you're telling me I can, have sex, and if you're telling me I can still experience the highs of highs, even when there's lows and lows, then, that's what makes life all the more beautiful, right? And I think that's a good message people should have, right? Like, no matter how shitty your life is, or no matter how shitty whatever you're currently you're going through is, right? There's going to be ups. You're going to be happy again. You're going to experience love. You're going to experience happiness, I hope, for each and every one of you. And, I think that's beautiful. And if Denji's still coming to that conclusion, right, that like, look, man, this world has gone to shit and everything is messed up, but, I'm actually having fun right now. And, in this world of Chainsaw Man, right, if I'm looking at this view, hey, man, at least let me have a girl. At least let me have a girl and let me enjoy some sushi for a little bit before I leave this weird world, right? So that is chapter 192, How Devils Play. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know your thoughts, of course. I do have a Kagurabachi video, so go ahead and watch that. You guys can go ahead and watch the Chainsaw Man chapter review too. And I have the Discord server. Can I post it again? Yeah, there we go. So there's the Discord server. You guys can go have fun with that. Show me your Chainsaw Man. Like wall your murals here of Chainsaw Man, right? Love it. Love the fan stuff. Thank you guys. Thank you for sharing all that cool stuff. And I think that is it. So let me see if there's anything I can show. Oh, I guess I can leave you guys with one last little image here. We have a new Dandadan playmat coming out. It should be revealed hopefully next week or by Friday. Oh man, where's the sketch? I got the sketch. So, it's not this. Well, actually, I'll tease you two of the sketches. It's not going to be this, but I like them nonetheless. They were almost in the running for playmats. So if you guys can see here, Dandadan wise, we have Gigi and Okarun facing off. Very cool. And then we have another one of Gigi versus Okarun facing off, but he's using the Evil Eye, the Curse Ball from the Curse House arc. So there you go. That's some sketches of some upcoming playmats. And I think that's it. Is there anything else in the chapter? Sayonara. I literally just watched 192 and got here. No, sorry, Appy. I enjoyed it, to be honest. See
See ya. I shall watch the chapter review. First time on your stream, and it was a blast. See ya. All right. Take care, guys. Have a good night. And yeah, that's it. We'll be back next week. Bye.